welcome to the next episode of the Voron Zero series. Today I'm going to start by showing you what I did in between episodes. So yeah, let's begin by looking at the rear side of my V0. It's a bit rude, but whatever. I designed and printed this extender for the power plug here, so I can finally mount it there. I did make one mistake with one of the holes, but yeah, not much I can do about that. I'm not going to cut the entire aluminum panel again. That's a huge pain. This one on the other end is not a mistake. That's for the Bowden tube, so it will come out here, and well, the spool holder will be here, so it will route through that hole, through the extruder somewhere around here, up to the hot end. On the front, not much changed. I printed the last set of skirts and mounted the layer fans. Also, I designed this accelerometer mount. This is for the input shaper. It uses one of the standard ADXL345 PCBs here. So using this, which is friction fit into these three holes that we use for the, why do I forget the word? The carriage of the linear rail. So yeah, it's friction fit in here. It doesn't wobble much, and it holds this PCB in place. In theory, I will, if this works well, I will release this on the Voron users GitHub and my fork of it as well. So I will link it in the description as well if you want to use input shaper with Voron Zero, because I don't think there is a mount available at the moment for this. So yeah, if you're interested, check the description. And also I'm working on another mod. It's supposed to sit here and screw into these two tapped ends of these two extrusions, and it also has two more optional holes, so if I ever get nuts in there, I can screw there as well. I'm editing this in to show you the actual printed part instead of describing it. So here it is. It's designed to hold a Raspberry Pi camera like this here, and that's obviously to see the heat bed. Hopefully I will be able to angle it well that I can see the prints well. And yeah, that's the idea. This ribbon cable is a little too short, but I'll replace this with a longer one and run it to the Raspberry Pi Zero. Also, you'll notice that I have two clamps on the part, and well, this one is for umbilical cord. I think I'm going to use one of my EGOS cables that I have for the V2, and the other one is for the Bowden tube. So from this it will run to the extruder, and from this obviously it will run to the electronics. So yeah, that's the idea with that. I'm still waiting for the BMG style Bowden collets, but while I'm waiting for that, I decided to work on some lighting. So let's see how it looks. Let there be light. And well, as you can see, it lights this thing pretty nicely. It's the same lighting system that I used on my V2 as well. It's just these LED kind of like sticks, I guess, PCBs, 100mm pieces. Obviously I needed far less on this one than I need on this one, but you know, doesn't really matter, it lights up pretty well. But yeah, as you can see, it lights this thing pretty nicely. This is a design that mounts on the top hat. Obviously, it is a 4-piece design. That's intentional. I could have just printed this as a 1-piece, but I decided to make sure that, you know, if people want to do the same, they can print on their V0s. So as long as you align these pieces diagonally on the bed, you can print them one by one on your V0 on your tiny 120mm bed. So yeah, you can do this mod without needing any other printers. They screw on top of the panel clip holder things there, the ones that attach with 2 screws, and yeah, they have a little peg in between the pieces that align them together. The LED PCBs, they are just pressure fit in there, so there are some clips, you just push it in place and it stays there nicely. And yeah, overall I'm really happy with how this turned out as well. So yeah, let's, I guess, move on to either the Voron clips or another mod, I don't know, depending on when it arrives. The Voron clips are now here, and I started doing the early testing. Well, turns out this part needs yet another redesign, because, well, yeah, you can see the angle from here. That's too steep of an angle, so it's preventing the extruder from extruding properly, especially when you extrude long distances. So yeah, that part will need a new redesign. But I'm also changing a few things around as well. With the panel in place, it is pretty hard to load the extruder. And well, obviously the answer is remove the panel, but that is also a problem with the V0 because, well, the nuts, they just slide down. So yeah, this whole process of loading filament is really a pain, and you can't just jam a Voron tube out of the rear panel as I planned as an idiot, because, well, there is also this thing that you need to unlock to load filament. So yeah, the rear panel area is going to get a complete redesign. Not sure what it will end up looking like, but yeah, we'll see soon. It will probably be something 3D printed. I finally have this thing running, and you can see I'm printing a test cube right now. While the adhesion wasn't perfect, you can see that with the skirt, once the tool head moves a little backwards, you can see that. But other than that issue, everything is working just fine. The printing of the test cube is now finished, so let's take a look. As you can see, well, there are a few problems. It's not too bad. Firstly, you'll notice the adhesion issues that I showed earlier, especially around here, for example. So I'll have to work on that. Maybe I didn't do the bed leveling right or something like that. I used to do bed leveling on my Black Widow, but you know, it's been a really long time, so it's possible that I didn't pay enough attention or something. One thing is, you'll see these lines that there are many lines, but they kind of repeat at a 2mm pattern, as you'll see. That is a known issue with Rev 1 of the Voron Zero. That's why they released the Rev 2, which, again, the only difference is a different lead screw and a different accompanying nut. So it's just literally just swapping the lead screw that gets rid of this issue. Apparently not everybody has it, but I guess I have the problem, so I already ordered the lead screw and I have one of the nuts that needed, so yeah, I'll do the swap in the next episode. And that should get rid of those, and other than that, there is nothing else. One more thing actually, the dimensional accuracy of this isn't great. It's just to do with X and Y motors belt tightness probably, so I'll try to fix that as well. Now let's take a look at the mode that was printing earlier in the video and during the time lapse. So you can see that that's a rear panel for this. As I explained, the normal rear panel doesn't allow you to swap filaments easy. So the point of this design is just to expose the extruder but cover everything else. So as you can see, it works pretty well. And yeah, well, obviously it covers everything. Some of the cables aren't covered, so not everything I guess, but whatever, you get what I mean. Not every cable is covered, but there aren't many that's visible, so it's mostly okay. This also allowed me to relocate the power input to here instead of in the middle, and it was sticking out if you remember. This is just nicer, it's cleaner, so I'm happy with this as well. One thing that I had to do when doing this design is to be able to cover this area as well, because well, the whole point is to have an enclosure obviously. I had to get rid of the camera mount there. So you can see that bowden tube and the umbilical cord just go down there, and it attaches, the panel attaches with the same two screws that old camera mount attached. So yeah, the camera mount is gone from there. I'll try to figure something else out. I'll figure out a different way of mounting the camera. Also, before you comment, maybe you probably already did from the time lapses, but anyway, and before you comment down below about my PEI sheet on my V2, yes, I'm aware of the terrible application of that. And I already addressed that in the V2 episode, but well, yeah, apparently this one comes first, so yeah, you won't see that, but yeah, you can see some of the problems caused by that bubbly PEI. Nothing I can do about that, but I can explain the reason why it is that way. I had this table open here, and I was applying my new Wham Bam PEI sheet. And I normally close this door, I don't let my cat in here, but I accidentally left it open when applying the PEI sheet, and the bastard snuck in, and right when I was applying the PEI sheet, he jumped on it. And well, yeah, that's the result. How dare I pay attention to something else other than him? But yeah, that's what happened. I'll have to order a new one. Now let's talk about what I will do in the next episode. So as I said, I want to get rid of these 2mm marks. For that I'm replacing the lead screw, and you can see that I already removed the old one. So yeah, that's definitely coming in the next episode. Also, I'll probably do some off camera, don't worry, I won't spend much time on this there, but some temperature tower, fans tuning, etc. The basic print tuning stuff off camera. And then when we're done with that, I'll move on to the ADXL345 accelerometer testing. Also, not sure if it will be in the next episode or later down the line, but I want to have a display of some kind. Display doesn't necessarily mean a screen, you know, even a blinking LED is technically a display. I won't go for something that basic, but I want something to see the print progress and something to control some of the basic functions of the printer. So I can't really do the official Voron Zero display. Reason is, well, you have to do SMD soldering, and if you follow the channel long enough, you know that that's out of the question. I can't even do through hole properly. Definitely not going to do SMD. I know I'll fuck it up, so that's not happening. But at least I can have a progress bar, maybe using Adafruit NeoPixel LED sticks, or I don't know, maybe I can use an Arduino or something to maybe hook up a different screen or something like that. I don't know. I want to figure something out and use it. If I'm going with a NeoPixel stick, I could attach it here as a progress bar, or have a plastic piece sticking out from this panel and angled in a 45-degree or something, showing the progress. Again, I also want to issue some commands through buttons, so I'll probably use some tactile switches and design hexagon covers for them, and yeah, mount them here so I can have pause, resume, emergency stop, filament change, whatever, a few macros set up there, plus the emergency stop, which is very useful just in case. So yeah, that's something I want to do at some point as well. And lastly, obviously, since I can't have the camera mount back there anymore, I need to figure out a way of mounting the camera, because I really do want a camera. And yeah, I don't know where. I hope you enjoyed the time lapses that I used in this video. It has been a really long time since I did any time lapse content, and yeah, I'm kind of new to it, I guess. So the music and the actual duration of the time lapses, etc., they will be better. Also, I realized the camera was crooked during the time lapses. I'll fix that on my V2 as well in the future. I still hope they were a nice addition to the content. I'm trying to improve my production quality, so yeah, I hope that works there as well. I'm also working on some lighting, but I don't have anything to show for it just yet, but I will have pretty soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave me a like down below, and thanks for watching.